buds. I'm your host, Sam.
And I'm your co-host, Briana.
And this is
Kush and
Crime. Welcome back to another episode of Kush and Crime. Hey, Briana.
Hey, Sam. How's it going?
It's going. Last week, we left you off on a cliffhanger with the Black Dahlia. So we are back this week to talk about that. There has been some recent development on this case, actually, and we're going to talk about that here towards the end of the episode.
Yeah, and that's pretty crazy to think about. Like, that's how crazy, like, science is. I assume it's science that helped with this recent breakthrough.
So I saw two separate things. One was that a group of people were re-going through the case and they have a suspect that they believe who it is, but they don't want to say who it is until they can try and get the autopsy report, like the full released autopsy report from the LAPD, who will not release it. And they argue that that is a public document, so it should be released. And I agree because I'm nosy.
I'm all for releasing documents that should be public, okay?
100%.
All of them.
100%.
Release the files. All the files.
Release them all.
Hell yeah.
Unredacted.
Throw those motherfuckers in jail if they deserve it.
Have you seen that video where she's like, I don't want jail time. I don't want prison. I just saw like this metal version. It's like, I want to drag them out into the town square.
Yes. Off with their motherfucking heads.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
For real. You guys may notice that I sound like shit again. I don't have pneumonia this time, though, guys. So it's good. We're fine. I'm just sick again.
I'm going to send you, like, some green tea or something.
Oh my God, this shit is terrible. So if you hear me laugh and I sound like an 80-year-old woman, just know I'm coming for you if you make fun of me. I may sound like my actual grandmother, but I'm still here bringing you this case. So
hell yeah.
What else do you want from me, okay? So per usual, we're going to have our strain of the day today. So Briana, would you like to take it away with the strain of the day?
Fuck yeah. All right, buds. So for our strain of the day today, well, I guess for my strain of the day, Sam, I wish that you were with me so we could have smoked this one together. So those of you who've been fans for a while, which is probably most of you, and you've listened to previous episodes, you've probably heard the do-si-do strain of the day. So listen, don't come after me. I checked with the boss. It's okay. We're doing cherry do-si-dos, okay? Not just regular cherry. Not just exactly. So back the fuck off, okay? And Sam, I really wish that you were here to smoke this with me. I'm gonna be honest. I am off this week. So I've been, waking and baking a little extra. Of course, when I work, I don't bake at all in the morning or until after work because that would be extremely dangerous.
That would not be good.
Since I've been off, we've been doing some waking and baking, and this is one of my favorite strains to do this with because it says that it's a hybrid, but for me personally, it definitely leans more sativa. I really get that energetic feeling after I smoke this. It smells amazing. And that's what really drew me to it initially. As soon as I opened this jar and I smelled it, I was like, this is going to be the fucking strain of the day. Like I'm telling you right now.
Oh, man.
And then we proceeded to smoke the entire jar. Not in one night, but over the course of just a few days because it was great. This strain that we have is 24.56% of total THC. So this one is not for those amateurs. If you're an amateur, listen, I'm not telling you how to live your life. You feel me? Um, do whatever
Mhm.
you want to do, but maybe just take a couple puffs and put the joint out. Put the bowl out. Put it down for a
Oh,
second.
it's that strong.
It's that good. It's good. It's like
Oh.
I'm not saying like for more seasoned like stoners, kind of like myself, Sam,
Mm.
a
Yeah.
couple of us.
100%.
Couple of y'all out there, shout out to you stoners going out there working every day, doing your shit, making your money.
While
Um
stoned.
yeah, some of us while stoned, others have to wait till we get out of work unfortunately.
Yeah.
But fuck, what was I going to say with that?
Welcome to the kush part of the story, guys.
And for those of you guys that are like, hey, we need some more cushion our crime. We've been brainstorming off episode, obviously, behind the scenes about ways that we can do that for you. So please stay tuned. We're going to add some more cush to your crime
Yep.
pretty soon. But like I was saying, I think I remember what I was saying. Cherry dosey dos is the shit, gets you energetic. um went on my break and my boyfriend was like, here, smell the weed that I got. Because first I smell it, I react to it, and then I read what it is. So you guys see a pattern with how I do
Yeah.
things. I just like to go in blind. I'm
Yeah.
just one of those people. So that's what I did. I smelled this cherry dosey dough. On Leafly, it says that some of the top flavors are apple, tea, and blueberry. I can
Hmm.
definitely smell the apple. Um,
Hmm.
the funny thing about the cherry dosey doughs is I don't feel like there's really any cherry component to it. I feel like it's just more like fruity, you know?
Okay. Is it mixed with a strain that is cherry something? Is
So
that maybe where it gets
apparently,
the name from?
according to this, it's funny because they're called cherry dosey-dos, but it's made by crossing phantom cookies with dosey-dos.
What?
And so it says the flavor of cherry dosey-dos tastes like apples, berries, and limes.
Okay, so
No,
where did y'all get cherry from?
that's what I'm wondering. Like, I mean, hey, again, not telling you guys how to live your life. I'm just saying, with the weed strains, I love you, but we need some like regulation here.
We need some names that make sense.
Yeah. If you guys have any suggestions out there of like farms that you're like, hey, this one has great names. We're talking just names here. It doesn't like the bud. I've smoked so much bud. Like the name honestly only carries so much weight. At the end of the day, it's all about how it smokes. Cause believe me, I'm sure all you guys out there, I'm sure many of you have had some shitty looking bags that you thought were some swag and ended up
And
being
they were
some good.
middies. I was gonna say
Yes.
middies.
Yep. Oh, taking it back, Sam. Taking it back. Or even some
Oh
good
my god.
beasties. I was fine with good beasties.
Oh my god. I don't know. Sorry.
It's okay. You dying over there, Sam?
Oh my god, and I wish it was from the weed, honestly, but yes,
One day we'll be able to smoke together. That'll be an
I
interesting
know.
episode. That'll be one we have to do like live or something.
There is an option, you guys. Okay, so good transition there because there is an option on our recording thing to live stream a episode or whatever, a chat, whatever. And on our Patreon, which I have been working diligently on bringing back to life over here, we have let me bring it up as we're talking about it. We have our episodes are on there. Eventually, we're going to release bonus content on there. As of right now, that is not a thing that we're doing. But as we grow and develop and, you know, get our routine going, we'll add more bonus content in to the Patreon. Also, we pre-record our episodes now. So what I was planning on doing for our previous Patreon that we had, now that I've reorganized it, is releasing the episodes early. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to release the episodes early into the Patreon once they're edited, once they're done. And the only way to get access to those would obviously be to subscribe to the Patreon. But within the Patreon, our levels, we have tier levels. We have our middies level. So that's our entry level.
Ah, yes, yes. Okay.
Okay, so that is where you can just get access to the episodes early, and you don't have to, you don't have to do anything else. That's just that if you sign up for that, that's what it is. Um, then our next step up, which is called Headband, which is, if you guys remember, is my favorite strain, and that is bonus episodes and early access to episodes. Then we have OG Kush, which also includes a monthly smoke session. So, that being said, we go into a live stream, we have the audience, we do the smoke session, we have a live chat, we do the thing, we have a Discord, we could do all of that stuff. Those are things that we want to incorporate and want to grow on and want to work at. I haven't told Briana this yet, but now I'm telling Briana anyway.
See, I love
Haha.
it. I love it. See, but this is how I like to take in information. It's I go in blind and I know the information and now I get to react. That sounds like so much fucking fun. I would love to
Yeah.
have smoke sessions. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. And then obviously that would all be virtual, but at some point I am owed to go over to Briana. So we will have, when that does happen, we will record like video in person episode where it'll just be kind of like a conversation, a genuine smoke session. And
Hell yeah.
that will 100% be up on our YouTube, which again, I'm still working on that. So don't look at that yet. And that'll be up with the Patreon and everything. So there's absolutely no requirements to sign up for the Patreon. You do not have to do that, but if you want to support us and want us to keep working on the podcast rather than our regular jobs, uh, that's where you would do that.
It'd be
So
pretty cool.
that would be cool. That would be fun. I would much rather sit
Just
here
saying.
and research murder than go to work, which says a lot about my job, I guess.
Especially since researching murder gives you nightmares sometimes.
It really does. I was texting Brianna last night. I was saying how I was getting nightmares again. The night before, I literally had a nightmare. It was so fucking weird, but it always ends up with people doing weird crime shit. And then I wake up and then I'm like, oh, fuck. What just happened? And I don't know. I don't know what happened because, like, it's so disorienting.
See, this is the silent struggle that those who research murder go through. I'm sure others who like dig deep into this shit and write books and everything, I'm sure the same shit happens to them.
Why do you think I don't like smoking sativa? Do you think I need any more paranoia in my life? I have plenty. I have plenty.
We'll be up for 3 days playing Monopoly.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's what we're doing. That's our buffer zone.
So Sam could have murderous Monopoly dreams.
Oh my god. Wait, imagine. Wait. Wait. Did we just do something? Can we make okay, we're going to have a conversation off screen
Okay,
about
okay.
off recording
We
about
need to
that.
write it down though, because we're definitely gonna forget.
I'm 100% going to forget. Are you kidding me? We're stoners. Of course I already forgot. I already forgot.
Murderous Monopoly.
Cushion crime board game. Here we come.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, we could make it like Clue or something?
Yeah.
Like a whodunit?
Oh shit. Okay. That 100% would have to be a Patreon thing.
Yeah,
100%.
that would be cool.
All right, we're talking like years from now, guys. Don't get excited about any board game.
Don't jump the gun here.
No, but that definitely does sound fun now that we're talking about it.
It's inspiring.
Yeah. Okay. We went off on our tangent.
We did.
Did you have your secondsies already?
So I got a little bit of this joint left. So
All right.
at some
Well, I
point,
suggest you might want to light that
yeah.
here soon because we're going to be talking about the actual shit today.
We're gonna be talking about the real shit today. The shit.
The shit. So last when I left you, we were just talking about Betty's background. She was a go-getter in a sense of she would go get her a man.
And she'd be going and getting, that's for sure.
She'd be going to getting. and she be getting what she wanted. But ultimately, what's the cost in that? Your life. So, where I left you guys off, Betty was found murdered. On the morning of January 15th, 1947, around 11 a.m., officers named Fitzgerald and Perkins are starting patrol when a call is received for a possible 390 down on Norton Ave between 39th and Coliseum in the middle of the block, west side, vacant parking lot.
So like a 390 down, that's like a dead person.
They think so 390 means a drunken man, and
Oh,
then down obviously means on the ground. So whoever saw this person was from afar. They didn't see it like up close, obviously.
okay.
I think as we describe this, you'll understand that they definitely did not. When Fitzgerald and Perkins arrived at the location, they took one look at the scene and they couldn't even process it at first. They were like, "What the fuck am I looking at?" And then as they look, they're like, "Am I looking at a mannequin?" And then they keep looking, and then they realize it is a woman cut in half.
Oh, so it was a real person. It
It was a
wasn't a
real
mannequin.
person. It was obviously Betty, which we find out later that it was Betty, but we know
Yeah.
that it's Betty
Oh my god, in half?
in half.
Like her like horizontally.
Yes, so bisected, um, like at like right in the right spot, or you could do a bisection
Yeah.
that it wouldn't cut through any vital organs except the small intestine and this one spot in the spine. It's the bottom, like the bottom half of the spine.
Oh wow.
So pretty much like navel area.
Yeah.
Um, these two are rookies. So when they get to the scene, they're like, "Oh no 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 no!
And this is like back in like the 20s, right? Or what year was
This is the
this?
1947."
Oh, 47. Okay. Yeah, even still though, back then they were like flabbergasted.
Yeah, they were like, "Oh fuck no 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 no, then not for us, hell no." And they call it in. They call in for backup for homicide. At this time in history, and I'm sure probably still to this day, news outlets have access to police radio. So when reporters hear that Fitzgerald and Perkins are calling in for backup for this, they are like, "Oh fuck." They start moving. The first reporter on scene actually got there before homicide detectives, and her name was Aggie Underwood. And I'm going to show you a picture of Aggie Underwood because she's just so like wiry looking. Like, I don't even know how to describe it outside of that. Hold on just a second. Let me share that with you. Okay, so do you see that picture there?
Yes, the lady on the phone.
So that's Aggie, and you can tell she's a little kooky looking. Um,
Yeah, she looks like she's like there's papers
yep.
everywhere.
So she is a newspaper. She's a journalist for the Herald Express in L.A., and she actually arrived before the homicide detectives did. So our first account outside of what we get from police is actually from Aggie. But I'm going to tell you the true account because Aggie did get a couple things wrong. Um, and that's mostly because she was not right on top of the body. She really couldn't see everything. And when I say that there was a lot going on, obviously being cut in half is already a lot, but there was a lot going on with her body in general that nobody's going to be able to see from where she was sitting. So, what everything with the crime scene, when police arrive, Elizabeth is bisected, so cut in half. Her body was on the ground. Nearby her body, there was a tire track. There was a small bloody smudge on the curb near her body, and blood on an empty sack found near her body. We do have a picture of the scene. I showed it to Briana before. We're going to upload it on our website, but for our website, we'll use the one that the press took and drew a towel over her to cover the bisection.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So we'll use that one as to not offend anybody. But her arms were bent at the elbows, like above her head,
Mhm.
and her legs were spread apart. So she was posed. like I had already talked about the bisection was clean. Okay. Clean. There were no hack marks. There was, like I said, there was nothing now. Should it, like all of her organs were intact except the small intestine. And then her spine was cut at the right spot where you only need to cut one spot. It's like the easiest mark of bisection.
Wow. So someone knew their anatomy.
Exactly. Somebody fucking knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
100%.
Which is kind of creepy.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty fucking creepy.
Mm-hmm. Um, she was obviously killed elsewhere and brought out and posed. And her body had been washed after death. There were ligature marks on her arms where it had looked like she had been tied up prior to her murder. There were bruises and cuts on her forehead and face, which had been severely beaten. And then the biggest thing was both of her cheeks were slashed from the corner of her lip all the way to her ears in a Glasgow smile.
Oh my God.
Or Glasgow smile,
That's
yeah.
gnarly.
Uh, the
Jeez.
medical examiner said that she was alive when that happened, and said that between her head wounds and her cheek wounds, she choked and died on her own blood.
Oh, that's so terrible.
That's not all. Her
Oh my God.
her right breast was sliced so badly that it looked like it had almost been sliced off. And Aggie actually reported that it was sliced off, but it wasn't. It was like almost. Um, the left side breast was sliced off as well. Her
Oof.
pubic hair had been shaved off recently, and it looked like there was like a tic-tac-toe pattern carved into her like vulva area.
Oh my God. What the hell?
Uh-huh.
It's sick.
Yeah.
In a bad way. That's disgusting.
Yeah. Her legs were slashed up as well, and noticeably missing a square of skin on her left thigh. Now, if you remember when I told you in part 1, Betty has a tattoo on her left thigh.
Oh my God. Did they cut out her
They cut out her
tattoo?
fucking tattoo.
Oh my God. That's like as a trophy, probably. Ew.
We'll get to that. Uh, so when the coroner um arrived, so this is all just what they observe without performing an autopsy, okay? So when the coroner came to pick up Elizabeth, underneath her there was still dew. So she had been dumped somewhat recently in like between dewfall in the morning.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like morning dew.
Yeah. And they did notate that rigor mortis had not set in yet. So again, still pretty fresh. So once Elizabeth's body does make it back to the medical examiner's office, they continue with the autopsy. It's determined that she died anywhere between 9 to 10 hours from when she was found. Her bisection had been done post-mortem, thank fucking God. And
Oof.
from the position of the cuts made for the bisection, the medical examiner believed that her arms were tied up above her head and was more than likely drained in like a bathtub type situation because all the blood was drained out. She had multiple stab wounds, and when they looked into her vagina, they found her thigh tattoo
Oh, what the
inserted. And they also saw that her anus was dilated and that her pubic hair was put into her anus.
what? Why? I cannot fathom.
Like, this shit is so crazy.
This is like you find the person who did this and euthanasia. Like this is
Well,
crazy.
probably already dead. Definitely already dead, I'm
Oh
sure.
my God. Yeah, I guess at this point, but goddamn, what a sick fucking person.
It's honestly I know that this case, this is why. This is why this case is so like crazy, right? It's the 40s. Like this serial killers aren't even a thing yet. You know what I mean? I just like I think serial killer, the term serial killer. Hold on. Okay, just kidding. The serial killer just became a thing, but serial murderers didn't really start like being called that until the 60s. So
Okay, so it was still very
It
fresh
was
and new.
uh-huh.
And if I remember, like, when it was, like, all new and fresh, like, some of the more seasoned people were like, "Nah, that's malarkey," like,
I think you're right. That's
they kinda thought it was, like, bullshit, or at least I should say that's how it was portrayed in a show that I
oh,
watched.
okay. What was it?
The Mindhunters
Oh,
show.
okay. Yeah, I think that is correct though. That from what I've heard, that has some factual information. I've never watched it, surprisingly.
Yeah. I mean, you watch so much of, like, the true, like, actual, like, true
Yeah.
crime stuff, like, not saying that Mindhunters isn't true, but saying that it's just more of a show
Yeah.
based off of events
Yeah.
rather than, like,
True
actual
crime.
factual
Yeah.
things. Because yeah, I feel like those are different things, so that's fair.
Yeah. So they also did notate that she had lividity on the front of her legs. Lividity is where your blood pools in the body after you've died and it's like resting. So she obviously was face down at some point after her death. Isn't that weird? The science is crazy.
That's
And
crazy.
I'm not
Science is so cool.
I'm not even you're the science person. I'm not even the science person, and I thought that was cool. So what that means, like I said, was she was laying face down enough for it to show that she was face down. Police's obviously first couple steps are to identify who this is because she's naked, she has no clothes, she has no jewelry, she has no personal identification, nothing on her at all. Um, and what better way to find out what time she was dumped there? So dew fall they calculated happened around 2:30 a.m. and remained on the ground until 6:30 a.m. So we know that she was dumped within that time frame. Police go around, they knock on doors. Um, a neighbor stated that he noticed what looked like a Ford sedan in that area around 6:30 a.m. And when he was like looking out there, they just like pulled away. So he didn't actually see anything get dumped or anything. Nobody actually saw anything, obviously.
Yeah.
We had already kind of talked about the press being kind of the first ones on scene. They were like flies buzzing all over this crime scene. They wanted the inside scoop because remember, this is all we got. Extra, extra, read all about it. Lady killed in a vacant lot.
Yeah, and this bitch's tattoo was ripped off and shoved up her cooch. Like, this shit is definitely gonna make front page news. This is crazy.
Exactly.
This was like not heard of like then. And I
And
mean, even
still,
now, if something like this, I feel like would still be major
a
news.
hundred
Like
percent,
this poor person, this human being's body was severely brutalized pre and post mortem.
100%. And this is what the news outlet loves to see. This
Yeah.
particular newspaper called the Examiner gets in with the LAPD and says, "Hey, we have this technology. It's called sound photo, which was like the early stages of the fax machine, and we can send those prints for you for the inside scoop. We get to know who she is first." And the LAPD, who did not have this technology and obviously needed to find out who this was as fast as possible, agreed.
Wow.
Mhm. I thought so. I thought that was a wow worthy. The prints that were sent, Elizabeth's, were very blurry. They were difficult to read. And obviously, this is the time before computers and fingerprint like digital databases. So everything was done by hand at what the FBI called the fingerprint factory. And what the fingerprint factory is a giant room with a crap ton of files, and they're separated and distinguished by the types of marks in a fingerprint. So a loop, a whorl, an arch. And when they have the files, they have subsections. Like, okay, this person has whorls, and then this person has a ridge, and this far apart, whatever. So typically, they wouldn't have to pull more than 20 or 30 files to know whether or not it was in their system or in their filing system. After the search of multiple files, the FBI were able to come back with a positive identification of Elizabeth Short, Betty. The examiner again, who has first rights on this story, find Elizabeth's identification out. And the first thing they do is they start looking for their scoop. They call Phoebe Short. Again, that's Betty's mom back in Massachusetts. Ring, ring, ring. Hello, ma'am. Are you the mother of Elizabeth Short? She says, yes. The reporter on the other end says, oh, I have all these questions about Betty. Starts asking personal questions. What color are her eyes? What color was her hair? Does she have a scar on her back? And Phoebe's like, okay, what the fuck is up here? Why are you asking all these questions? And the reporter says, your daughter's won a beauty contest.
They That's so fucked up. I was just gonna say, so this woman doesn't know that her daughter's dead yet?
Nope. They just found out the identity, and because the Examiner has the fucking rights to the story, before police can even fucking get to Phoebe's house, they're calling her.
That's so fucked up, and they know what they're doing.
Yeah, they know what they're
How
doing.
could you live with
This
yourself?
guy, I'll show you with this motherfucker. His name is Jimmy. He is all around a piece of shit. He is the editor of the Examiner. That's him right there.
He looks like a piece of
He does
shit.
look like a piece of shit. Fucking asshole. He's fucking butt fucking his cigarette. He's a chain smoker. For those
Oh, he's lighting it with
yeah,
another
I was just
cigarette.
about to clarify that. I was
Like, I don't smoke cigarettes, so I don't know.
if y'all have never smoked cigarettes, yeah, you use your other cigarette to light the other cigarette, and that's called butt fucking.
Well, we can only hope that, he died of cancer.
I don't remember how he died, but he definitely is dead, so good.
Yeah. Good riddance.
After the employee so Jimmy's not even the one making the phone call, he had an employee call and do this, and, like, Jimmy's kinda, like, behind the other side of the phone, like, he's like, "Oh, what do I say?" She's asking, he's like, "Tell her she's won a beauty contest." So that's all
Oh
Jimmy's
my
idea.
god.
So, obviously, Betty had not won a beauty contest, and then Phoebe hears the commotion of being like, "Oh, I wanna tell her. I wanna tell her what's going on," and then, like, them covering the phone receiver and all of that, and Phoebe, who is no dummy and hears all the commotion, is like, "Okay, what is actually going on here?" And the reporters tell her that her daughter has been brutally murdered. Phoebe, of course, does not want to believe it. They call her about a beauty contest and then they're saying, oh, she's murdered. Now she's like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? Um,
Yeah, I wouldn't believe them either.
yeah, like this is crazy. And then a knock comes on the front door. Police inform Phoebe of what she has already heard, that her daughter has been brutally murdered and she is needed in LA to identify her body. Police ask her about her last whereabouts, who she had spoken to. Um, Phoebe lets police know about Gordon Fickling, the guy that she was planning on marrying. That's what Betty told her, but they weren't Gordon and her broke up and she was planning to move in with Meredith and then she only hit him up every time she needed money. So they weren't planning on getting married. She was just using him for everything that he had, but Betty told her mom that, oh, they were planning on getting married. So of course police want to find out where Gordon is. And when the police were inside of Phoebe's house, already people were fucking swarming the outside. Press, civilians, like buzzing about this case already. And she's like, oh, fuck. And poor Phoebe, she's already had a tough life. She had to raise her daughters, get left with all her husband's fucking debt. Now her fucking daughter is dead. And then she's finding out by these fucking newspaper outlets. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's unbelievable amount of stress. I couldn't imagine.
Huh. Police now that they've talked to Phoebe, they need to start trying to figure out where her last movements were. But the problem is that Betty lies a lot to everybody about what she's doing. And it's hard to really track it down because to her mom, she's telling her mom she's going to marry Gordon and that she's working as a nurse. But that's really when she was staying with the Frenches. That's what Elvira French was doing. She was the one that was working as a nurse. So she's taking other people's lives and she's like using bits and pieces as part of her own. That's how there was like rumors about her wanting her being an actress or her being like a background actress. She wasn't an actress. She never was in any movies. It was Ann Toth, her friend Ann, who was an actress in like the back of movies and stuff and extra in movies. That was, so she was using that information as her own life. So now obviously when police are trying to figure out where the fuck she's been and who the fuck she's been fucking,
Yeah.
it's
And
hard.
this is before social media. It's before, you know, Instagram, before text messaging. Like this, so this is real, like talking to people and just hearsay.
Exactly. A doctor at the LAPD that they used to help gain convictions, like a psychologist, psychiatrist. There we go. Like a psychiatric. There we go. Doctor. That's the word. His name was Dr. J. Paul DeRiver, and right now he is not that important, but he will become very important. So he said that this killing was done for lust. He had also notated that the killer would be easy to get a confession out of once they caught him because of the way that he had displayed the body out in the open for anybody to see, and that he would tend to be narcissistic, obviously.
Yeah, I feel like that all checks.
Yeah, of course. So the first suspect that police had was Cecil French, and Cecil was picked up at the police station for harassing women at I'm sorry, he was picked up at the bus station for harassing women. Did I say police station?
You
I
did. I
definitely
mean, the
did.
police station went and picked him
The
up.
police station went and picked him up at the bus station. So he was harassing women at the bus station. They went and picked him up. He drove a Ford sedan, which would have matched the tire track that was found at Betty's scene. And the back seat of his car was missing. So police are like, yeah, that would be the way to transport a body.
Yeah, and get rid of like evidence.
Right. They search his vehicle. No, they don't find anything. They find him nothing connecting him to Betty, to anything like that. So they let him go.
Okay.
Around a week after the murder, police were still hunting down suspects, obviously, tracing Betty's last steps. And that's everything I've already told you. They pretty much already found out. They did all that legwork of where she was
Okay.
with, and that they did all of that. But I told you that beforehand because I wanted you to kind of have an idea of how Betty got where she was. This is a time, like about a week after her murder, that the press and the media and everybody else starts calling her the Black Dahlia. There are many people that claim to have dubbed her that. I think it just kind of happened because there was a movie at the time called The Blue Dahlia, and that was currently out. And The Blue Dahlia is about a man who comes home from the war to find out that his wife has been cheating on him. His wife ends up being murdered, and then the man becomes the primary suspect. So that's kind of mirrors how Betty's case began, right? That's why I
Interesting.
think that's why she's called the Black Dahlia. That's my opinion. That's the theory I agree with the most.
So what about the change from blue to black? Just to differentiate?
There was a couple different things. One was her hair, right? She had this, not when she died, she had the red headed hair, but in most of the pictures and most how everybody knew her, she had this big, beautiful black hair. And she always had a
Mhm.
flower in it. And that's how she's pictured in some of like, I'm trying to find you one, in some of these photographs. Like that's how she looks. So I think that those things, saying, look, you can see her hair is pretty black there and
Yep.
black there as well. And I think that oh, there's your newspaper article with the drawn on towel.
Oh, wow. So this is just them. They published this fiend tortures, kills girl, leaves body in LA lot.
Yeah.
So they published that even though it didn't end up being true.
Well, that is true.
Oh, so they're just calling the person a fiend. They're not referring to the person that you were saying they brought to the police station.
Correct.
Okay, okay. I see. Yes. Yeah, a fiend, that's a fair way to psychopath is another.
Yeah.
adjective you can describe, but I guess they didn't really use a lot of those
I
words
guess not.
then.
I guess not. Okay. So, yeah, they kinda dub her that because of the media, that's what's going on at the time, and just, like, all these things surrounding the case, it kinda just made her the Black Dahlia. Also, somebody said that, like, she would wear black clothing or black sheer clothing, but that's not really true from what I've seen either. They obviously check in with Gordon Fickling. That's gonna be one of their first stops, especially because Phoebe told them that Betty was telling her that they were gonna get married. When they reached out to Gordon, he was actually surprised that Betty was still on the West Coast. Based on their past letters and everything, she was expressing that she wanted to leave California, and they were able to actually verify that Gordon was nowhere near California at the time of her murder, and therefore was cleared of any wrongdoing there.
Yeah, I mean, we know that she theoretically was thinking about moving out of California, but then when it came down to it, she didn't end up going. So clearly she felt something was keeping her back.
Yeah, and I think that at the end there, she was getting really desperate. I think she might have ended up going back at some point, but there was part of her, and, like, she said to Anne, I would rather die than go back to the
So
East
dramatic.
Cold," you know?
I mean, it is cold. I do resonate with her on that. I feel her.
Once Betty's identity is revealed in the press, she does have a couple people come forward to give information. One would be Anne Toth. Um, Anne considered herself one of Betty's good friends, and she was able to give some insight on Betty's last movements, where she was like the couple months leading up to her death. Like we've already talked about, she was in and out of Mark's house, so Anne had been around her quite a bit. She was also the one that had told them that you're going to probably want to speak to Marjorie because she was living with her. And then she also told them that she had gotten Betty a bed at the Chancellor Apartments, which is important because Glenn Wolfe is a sleazeball and he's the one that ran those apartments that were super overcrowded. That's him right there.
Mhm. Yep, I remember that.
So they look into Marjorie. Marjorie is still in Massachusetts. And if you remember, I had said that she had returned home and Betty was supposed to, ultimately didn't. We just talked about that too. Um, but Marjorie reports not hearing from her since she left to go back home. And she ends up telling them about their other roommate, Lynn. Lynn is questioned, but obviously doesn't have anything to do with the murders. Uh, Lynn didn't even like Betty, so that was one reason why they were looking into her. But also they were kind of like running out of options and leads, so they wanted to just kind of make sure. And recently, at the time around Betty's murder, there was a woman named Winnie Ruth Judd that had been arrested for dismembering her friends and traveling with their body parts in a trunk.
Jeez, talk about a bad friend.
I'd say. Uh, we may do that case one day, but definitely not right now.
Side quest.
Side quest. Lynn is cleared from anything. So, but they did find out, during that investigation. You remember I told you she was 16? That's when they found that out. And we had talked about Lynn had a pretty shitty childhood and everything.
Oh, that the girl that she looked was able to get away with being saying that she was a little older, but she was actually really
Yeah, she's
young.
only 16 and
Yeah.
she was out doing sex work and stuff.
That's so
I
crazy.
know. I'm trying to find it and not show you anything like going so fast so you don't know what's what.
That's my typical MO, not knowing what's what.
Uh, there you go.
Yep, yep, that's the
Yep.
picture. Yeah, she does look so young.
Yeah. So they keep retracing Betty's steps until they find the Frenches, which remember, the Frenches were the last people that Betty was actually staying with before she ended up leaving San Diego with Red. Um,
Yep,
so Betty,
the married guy.
yes, yep, you remember. Betty had received some mail um, at the French's house, so they were able to kind of track her down that way. And when police questioned them about Betty's last known whereabouts, they said that she had just moved out, but she was last talking to this guy named Red, which was not his real name. So they did have a hard time trying to figure out who he was. And this is not the first time that police had heard about Red. In fact, a couple people, like when she was at the Biltmore and everything, when the police went all around LA, they had heard about Red already. So they start digging. And again, the Examiner, the newspapers are all over this shit also. And the Examiner genuinely kept getting in the way of this investigation. They wanted to be the one who identified Red first. So they start digging.
But, like, why? Like, the medical examiner?
No, like the newspaper, the Examiner.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the medical examiner who did the
No,
autopsy.
no, no,
I
no.
got confused for a second, folks,
That's okay.
sorry.
No, the newspaper, the Examiner, that asshole Jimmy,
Okay.
who was fucking
Yes, yep, that asshole fucking Jimmy.
fucking Jimmy again. Uh
Everyone knows a Jimmy
uh-huh. And they're usually like not that great.
from Florida.
I don't know a Jimmy from Florida.
I know a Jimmy from
Do you?
Florida. I knew a Jimmy that was from Florida that moved to Connecticut.
Huh.
Yeah, and he was a Jimmy.
He was a sprinkle?
That's a funny name for a
I
sprinkle.
know. I always talk about that sometimes, like the different, like we're all in the United States, but we each have like different things that we call things. Like
Sprinkles, shots,
right.
Jimmies.
Or sub, grinder, hero,
Yep.
things like that.
Yep.
Uh Brianna's got like the real life cops in the background over there.
Yep. For ambiance, it's my typical background music here in my world.
Yep.
In this main character, this is my typical background music.
There you go. So the Examiner, the newspaper, who genuinely kept getting in the way of this investigation, wanted to be the one who identified Red first. They start digging. At this point, they had already known that Betty had stayed the night at a hotel with Red. They find it. They find the one that she stayed at. Red may have put a fake name on the file, but the motel or hotel or whatever that they stayed at, it keeps track of people's plates. And it had recorded it.
That's fucking funny.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was like, I don't want my wife to find out that I was here.
Joke's on you. The whole country knows now, motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
When the Examiner pulls the plates, they find that this vehicle is registered to one Robert Manley. Police had the information, but for some reason sat on it. And they were waiting to interrogate him. They started looking for him, but they were waiting to interrogate him because he was out of town. And they knew that. So they waited. But the Examiner team did not care. They went up to his door and knocked on it. And a woman with a baby on her hip answered the door.
Oh no, the
Yep.
wife.
When they asked for Robert, she said, he is currently not home right now. He is on a business trip to San Diego. And they said, okay, did your husband know Elizabeth Short? And she says, not to my knowledge. He comes back in a couple days, so you'll have to wait to talk to him. I don't know shit. Police are furious when they find out that the press approached the family before they did. And
Oh, I'm
ultimately, yeah.
sure.
And ultimately, they strike a deal to keep the identity quiet until police get the chance to bring them in. The deal was that the press, from really any outlet, could come and watch Robert's interrogation.
What? Wait, why?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand what the fucking LAPD was doing in this time frame. And that is part of a problem with this entire fucking case is the LAPD is out here doing the stupidest fucking shit.
Why wouldn't they be like obstruction of justice? Get the fuck out of here.
Right.
Like go the other way. Detour.
Dude,
Stop right now. Don't go
I don't
forward.
know.
Like it's so strange. Like was someone in someone's pocket? Like
Well,
what was going on here?
well, we'll get to there.
Oh my god. Okay. Let's do it. Let's keep going.
A couple days go by. Police are staking out Robert's house with the press at this point. Um, Robert returns home, and multiple teams are around, like set up to make sure he doesn't run away and escape. And once he gets inside, they all swarm the house. When they get to him, the first thing that he says is, "I know why you are here. I know Elizabeth Short."
Oh shit. Without even being like
Without
prompted.
prompting. Yeah. He says that he said that because he saw the newspapers while he was in San Diego and he already knew. And he
Yeah.
said that his wife called him and said, "Did you fucking do it?"
That's how he really fucking found out. Let's be
No, for
real.
real.
Baby crying in the background. This poor woman probably hasn't had a full night's sleep in who knows how long or a hot meal.
He's out verifying that he still loves her, quote unquote.
That's right. Oh, what a loser.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Yep. So right now to police, especially with him saying that, he is looking like the best suspect. He had spent more than a few hours with Betty the last time she was verified as like being seen by people. There are multiple witnesses of her with him within her last week of living, and there are multiple witnesses of him dropping her off at the Biltmore. And regardless of whether he did it or not, police obviously need to interrogate him.
Of course. I think that's totally fair, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know. Is this guy a scumbag? Hell yeah. Like, for sure. But like, did he dismember and like brutalize this other human being to this insane, unimaginable amount of level? I mean, I didn't know the guy, but like, he still had a wife and he had like a kid and a job.
So did Lisk. So did the Long Island serial killer.
That's fair. I guess that's true. I haven't learned my lesson yet, apparently,
Clearly
guys.
not.
And I'm sure half of you out there are like, come on, Brianna, get it the fuck together.
It could be
We know
anybody.
you're listening. It could literally be anyone. Like this American Psycho.
Mm-hmm. Literally.
It could be anyone.
Mm-hmm. Like I had mentioned, the press were watching for this entire interrogation. And it went on for hours. They they were interrogating him for hours and they weren't getting shit out of him. And they let him sleep. Like that's how long he had been there for.
Like during the interrogation, they were like, take a fucking nap.
Yeah, they're like, because he had just gotten back from San Diego. Like, he hadn't even gone to bed yet. He literally got back and they picked him up immediately. So he hadn't even gotten any sleep yet. And he's still trying to, like, he's just telling them, listen, I don't have anything to do with it. There's nothing to tell you. I have nothing to do with it. So they let him sleep. And they're like, well, maybe you'll remember more when you wake up, bud.
Okay.
Obviously, when he does wake up, they're still not, like, cooperating. There's nothing, like, he's not telling them much. There's nothing to give, is what he keeps saying. This is the same way until Aggie comes back in. When Aggie comes in, she's like, "Hey, hey there, guy." This is his interrogation, by the way. I'm trying to find you the picture. It's right there. There. Uh, hey there, guy.
That's the guy?
Yeah,
That's the guy in the tie? He's the
that's
scumbag?
Red. Yeah, Red Robert Manley.
Yeah. Oh wow. He's younger than I thought he would be.
Yeah.
I guess I just assumed he was gonna be some like old, washed up, like
No, Betty liked them
gross guy.
handsome.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's like a dapper
No, he's
gentleman.
actually pretty handsome. You could tell he's red haired, even though this is a black and white picture, but you could tell.
For sure.
Yeah.
For
And
sure.
that's why he's called Red.
So what is he hooked up to like some lie
Yep,
detector
that's a
thing?
polygraph test.
Oh
Yep.
wow. That's
I know,
intense.
it's kinda scary looking, isn't it?
So did he do the polygraph in front of all the reporters
Yep,
also? Did he know the reporters were
yep,
there?
because Aggie comes in, because detectives weren't getting anything from him, and she goes, "Hey, buddy," with a cigarette or something, I don't know. Just kidding, I don't it's like the times.
Everybody's got a
Yeah,
cigarette.
clearly. That's why everybody looks so old. If you're as innocent as you say you are, just tell us the whole story. If you've got nothing to hide, who cares? if the truth comes out, right?
Absolutely.
So he cracked. He told them everything I told you, that they met at the bus stop. They went out to dinner, but he kept his distance, wanted to ride, da 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 da. Um, One thing that he does mention is that when he and Betty get within city limits of coming back from San Diego to LA, she starts acting a little anxious. She's constantly looking over her shoulder and out the window and almost as to make sure that they're not being followed. She also tells Red or Robert or whatever you want to call him that she had a crazy, jealous ex boyfriend and that she was afraid of him. Betty uses those things a lot, though, to keep distance. So it's hard to know if that was real or if that was something that she used to keep distance.
Yeah, I feel like honestly, I kind of just assume that it's like either not real at all or like a major exaggeration. It's hard to take what she said to heart.
Right, without a grain of salt.
Yeah. Big ass grain of
Yeah,
salt.
like the whole shaker.
All of it.
So police impound Red's car. They test it for blood. They continue their investigation to either consider him a suspect or rule him out. And after hours and hours and hours of investigation on his part, they rule him out as a suspect.
Okay, so he just told them like the account like how you said it
Hmm.
and he's like I don't got nothing. So he he tried so long not to admit that he cheated on his
Yeah,
wife with this girl.
100%. That's all it was. Like he just did not want to come out and say like, yeah, I definitely fucked her. So I don't know. I don't know.
Damn, so Aggie is the one that came in and got him to actually say what happened though.
Our badass bitch Aggie. We like Aggie. She's
Yeah, fuck yeah, girl.
She's one of the only reporters. She ended up becoming the editor in chief for the Herald Express, but she's one of those reporters that was more like after the facts and kind of like old school. She definitely broke a whole bunch of glass ceilings, considering like she was one of the first females to be an editor in chief. There weren't that many female journalists at the time, so she was very like I don't know what the word I'm looking for, ahead of her time.
A pioneer. She was a pioneer
Yes.
for women in journalism.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank
100%.
you. The words are eluding me because I am so sleepy. Uh, on to their next suspect, which would be Mark Hansen, obviously, right? Next step is going to be Mark Hansen. Mark was known to hang out with a lot of women, like we talked about. He didn't really have the skills to bisect and drain a human, though. Police searched his home. They did it multiple times. They bugged his home. They found nothing connecting him to the crime. They searched all his businesses. They never found anything. Over the years, they kept going back and back and back to Mark and thinking that he had something to do with it, but they were never able to find anything with him.
I mean, he seemed like he was a scumbag too.
Yep.
Like there's a fucking theme here. But at the same time, like I don't know. I know that the murderer could be anyone, guys. I know. But sometimes I just feel like this guy didn't seem like he wanted to kill her.
No.
Like, at least with how he like acted with her cuz even at one point he like wasn't even trying to get with her but was like I'll let you stay here.
Right. Right. So they rule him out also. Um, Then next is Glenn Wolfe. They gotta check out Glenn Wolfe. Again, he's a scumbag, but they rule him out also.
Yeah, that's the landlord guy,
Yep.
right? That had the
Yep.
shitty apartments with all the women packed in
Yep.
them.
So since all these interviews are being conducted in front of the press know just as much as the police do at this point. And they start looking for Betty's missing trunk and missing bags that Red had mentioned. The examiner finds the fucking trunk and they call police and they say, "Hey, guess what we have? The trunk."
So like the examiner's doing all of the police work here.
They really are. It seems they should have just been in charge of this fucking case because what the fuck? They say to police, "We will let you take the trunk, but you have to open it here at the examiner's office. We want first rights to the story."
I love, like, they're like, "Nope, we're using this to our advantage, like, this is
100%.
a major story."
100%. They want the rights to this story. They are doing everything they can to keep it on front page because murder sells. Information on this sells, right? So they need to stay front page with new information on this case as much as possible. They already have a crazy name, the Black Dahlia, that already sells papers on its own. Now coupled with the fact, oh, we have her belongings now. We were the ones to find them.
And we saw firsthand, what was in there, and
Exactly.
we got to look at the contents and be at the interrogation, and yeah, that's
Yeah.
insane. I mean, I guess it's in the name of the game, journalism.
Right. They find the trunk, they go down, police go down there. They begrudgingly agree to the terms of Betty's trunk finding. And inside the trunk, they find a photo album, which is from her sister, letters from Gordon Fickling. They find some of her clothes, and police had already talked to Gordon, so this is nothing new to them except like personal correspondence between the two. And this is still all pretty much like a week after the murder. Every lead that they have checked out leads to nowhere. They have no viable suspects, nothing going on. And like you had mentioned, it seems like the examiner has more of an interest in solving this case than the LAPD.
Or at least they're more proactive about it, or maybe they have more of the budget to throw around. I don't know, but
I think that might
something's
be part of it,
fishy.
honestly. That and the fact that this is, the 40s. This is gangster time, LA. This is the time of the mafia and the mob and all of that. And you had mentioned it and alluded to officers being on the take and things like that. And that's not wrong. As we go through this story, there's going to be people that get fired and taken off things, and that's the times. It's just
For
it
sure.
was the LA is huge, and at the time, they were going through a massive crime wave because everybody was coming back from the war, and every time that happens, there's a crime spike. And that's what was going on. Well, the Examiner.
Yeah. I've played LA
Me
Noir.
too, I fucking love that game. I'm pretty sure there's a case in LA Noire that's just like this case. Now, the Examiner again is more interested in solving this case, and they get a phone call. Jimmy answers. He says, "Hello." Just kidding. He's like, "Hello, the examiner's office, editor's office." The man on the other line asks, "Is this the city editor?" And Jimmy says, "Yes, it is." And the man on the other end says, "Well, I must congratulate you on what the examiner has done in the Black Dahlia case." And Jimmy says, "Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's hard work. We're doing great."
It's the murderer.
The caller says, "You seem to be running out of material," laughed, and then said, "Maybe I can be of some assistance." Jimmy replies, "Yeah, we really need it." The caller replies, "I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll send you some of the things that she had with her shall we say, when she, shall we say, disappeared." Jimmy takes his hand,
Dun dun
yeah,
dun.
covers the receiver, mouths to his assistant, start tracing the call. Jimmy tries to keep him on the phone and is like, "Well, when should I expect such things?" And the guy says, "Within the next day or so. I must say goodbye now. You may be trying to trace this call," and hangs up the phone. Yes, 100%.
He knew.
100% that was her killer.
Mhm.
100%.
Oh my god.
Oh, I got chills talking about it. See, that's why I have fucking
I was
nightmares.
gonna say, I got chills. I was literally just about to say that. You're such a good storyteller, like, literally.
I love you.
I got chills here.
Okay, so within the next day or so, on January 24th of 1947, this is now a year after Betty. Wait, a year? Yeah, I think it's a year. Hold on. No, 2 weeks. Like 2 weeks after Betty was found. Um, a letter arrives, and it says, "To the LA Examiner and other newspapers." And I'm going to show Briana the letter, and you guys are going to see it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, no, I see it. I'm just trying to read. I can't really read the top left.
Oh, it said so that says Los Angeles Examiner and other Los Angeles newspapers.
Here
Uh-huh.
is Dahlia's. I can't read what that
Belongings.
says.
Yep.
Belongings? Oh yeah.
Letter to follow. I
Creepy. Oh
know.
my goodness.
I know.
And it's all like newspaper clippings and like magazine clippings and
Yep. So that letter was soaked in gasoline, and it was a way to keep the fingerprints from being lifted off of the letter.
oh wow. Interesting.
If you go to our website,
Gasoline.
www.cushioncrime.com, no ampersand spelled the and, same for the Instagram, that is going to be on there. You're going to see what that looks like. And you can take a look at that for yourself. In there, so the package came with it, and it had Betty's purse. And in the purse had a Greyhound baggage claim ticket dated for January 9th. That was when she dropped her bags off with Red at the bus station. Um,
Mhm.
6 pictures of her and everything. Um, her social security card, her birth certificate, and the obituary for Matt Gordon that she carried everywhere.
Oh wow, and that little obituary has been with her for a
The
while.
whole time she was in California, she's had
Yeah.
that. Um, and her address book she had, and it had several pages torn out. Police combed through everyone on this address book. And obviously if the killer is sitting that in, he's not in there. But they look through it and they didn't find anything. Nothing. No viable lead. No nothing at all. Police then start receiving letters from an the alleged killer saying that he was going to come turn himself in, but ultimately didn't. Um, it's believed that those are copycats. That's not real.
Were they soaked in
They
gasoline
were not
also?
soaked in gasoline, but there weren't any liftable prints. I did save some pictures. Let me see if I can get them up for you. Give me just a moment. Okay, here is another one that was received. This was to the Examiner. This is saying
Mhm.
here turning in here it is turning in Wednesday, January 29th. Had my fun at police. Black Dahlia Avenger. This is another one to a different newspaper, the Herald Express, where Aggie worked. Um, I will give up in Black Dahlia killing if I get 10 years. Don't try to find me.
What the heck does that even mean?
Yeah, I'll only turn myself in if I only get 10 years.
Yeah, but don't come and find me.
They trust me, they
They're
didn't.
gonna make they're gonna wanna come and find you anyway, though. Like, that's like, they're gonna be like, "Oh, we can't go and find him." Like,
Right,
I guess we gotta stop now. Like,
right. This is yeah,
silly.
this is another one. Have changed my mind. You would not give me a square deal. Dahlia killing was justified. And then this is the one that I already showed you, and you can see it a little bit better here. So we'll post those on our website. But you can see why they would think that this is somebody else. It doesn't really match.
No, for sure. Yeah, no, absolutely.
So I don't know. I don't know what to think. I think I agree with. I think it's somebody else. I don't think it was actually
And honestly, like, it's hard for me to say, like, what really makes me feel it, but just with how it looks and just the tone of it, it seems like a different personality to me.
right. But this one is the real one. The other ones I don't believe
So we know that this is, well, yeah, I guess the belongings came
with it.
shortly after, so
Yeah.
yeah, or with it, yeah. So
So
and so wait, so a letter never followed?
the letter to follow was allegedly hold on. Oh geez.
Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
jeez. This was allegedly the letter to follow. This is postmarked on January 26th. They received the other one on January 24th. So that this would technically be the letter to follow.
And that was it. That's all it said.
Yep.
Here it is turning in
Wednesday. Yeah.
January. Yeah, January 29th, 10 a.m. Had my fun at police.
Mhm.
It's just like, what does this mean?
I don't know.
And this is like, it's the way it's worded is like weird and eerie and ominous. Like to me, I understand exactly what you mean when you say like you believe that these two pieces are real and the other ones are seem like they're from a copycat.
Right.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense.
Yeah. And copycats, that's something that we've seen multiple times. And even in the Zodiac, there's copycats of that and the cipher and everything. So that's not unbelievable that it was a copycat. I think this is real. The first one's obviously real because the belongings came with it. But I
Mhm.
don't think the others are. But we're still gonna include them on the website, and then you can tell us in the comments of this episode or our Instagram post whether or not you think that they're real. You
Yeah.
tell us. So I already told you what everything all had. When they tried to lift prints from that letter, the first letter, they couldn't because the gasoline. They got something, but it wasn't like a full print. So they did send it off, but they were never able to get a full match. Now, unfortunately, this is where Elizabeth's case hits somewhat of a standstill. They were able to find her bags. There really wasn't anything that was in them that was viable, that gave them any leads or anything. And remember, I had mentioned a specific doctor named Dr. J. Paul De River. So
Mhm.
now he's going to come back into this story. This is a full year, 1948, a full year after Betty's murder. De River is writing a book about dealing with behavior problems, and he starts receiving letters from a man named Jack Sand. Jack Sand is saying that he knows a guy named Jeff, and this is going to get a little confusing, so I'm sorry in advance. Jeff told Jack,
Oh my
yeah,
god.
that's why I said it's going to get a little confusing.
Sounds like a nursery rhyme
I know.
already.
Jeff told Jack that he used to live where Elizabeth Short had lived, and he was familiar with who she was. He would often frequent the same bars that she would hang out. And he even said that Jack had seen the police questioning people around the area about Elizabeth. And he ultimately left the area to avoid being questioned. So, De River, who had been communicating with Jack, there we go, I even wrote it wrong in my notes, had been communicating with Jack for some time. It was like, oh man, we need to get this guy. But I think that Jack and Jeff are the same person. I think they might have the splits, like split personality.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is definitely bananas. Like
Yeah. So
all over the
I
place.
know. So he was like, okay. He takes the letters that he received from Jack and he brings them to LAPD, directly to the chief, not to the homicide department who has been working on this fucking case from the beginning. He brings them to the chief. And he to the chief says, "Hey, listen, I think that this is our guy based on how he's acting, how he's describing himself. He fits what I believe the profile to be of Elizabeth Short's killer. He also says that he knows who she is and he knows somebody who knows her, which I think he knows who he is he and he knows who." That-
Okay, that's not fucking confusing or
right.
anything. That's fine.
Right.
Like I would look at this guy like he had 3 heads.
Right. But the chief agrees and says, "Sure, you can go get this guy, bring him back to LA. We'll interview him. We'll see what he's all about. We'll go from there."
Like without even talking to the people who have been working on this case.
Correct. De River and a member of the quote unquote gangster squad go down to Miami where they could go find Jack Sand and figure out who he actually is, what's going on. They want to talk to him, they want to interview him, and they ultimately want to bring him back to LA. When they get to Miami, they go to the post office where the P.O. box is, and they find out that this guy's name is actually Leslie Dillon. Leslie finds out that they're looking for him, and ultimately they end up meeting up. And when they do, Dave River is like talking to him because, again, they've been corresponding for a while. So he's basically just kind of talking to him about some of the things they've talked about before. They're trying to make it seem normal, just trying to get any information that they can out of it. But as they keep speaking with Leslie, or Dylan, as I'm going to refer to him, they decide they want to bring him back to LA, and Dylan agrees to go back. Two more members of the gangster squad follow their chase car for Day River and the other member. The other member, and I have their names, but realistically, we don't need to go through all that. But the other
So
member,
many names.
exactly, it's too much. It's too much. So the member that's with Day River is acting as a driver, but he is a trained police officer, so he's observing while they're driving. And ultimately, they drive all the way back from Miami to LA.
Wow, they drive from Miami to LA?
Yes, that's far as fuck.
That's so far. Just for those of you that may not know,
Yeah,
it's really fucking far.
really, it's
Like
multiple
days.
days.
Yeah. Like physically impossible to do in one day.
No,
2 days. I don't know that you could do it in 2.
no, and that maybe 2 if you were nonstop driving, but they were not.
Or taking shifts. Like I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's crazy.
they were not. They drive back. They make periodic stops, and River continues to question Dylan as they're going. And at this point, he really does believe that he already knows that Dylan is Jack Sands. They've already confirmed that he was using an alternate name to write to him because he didn't want to use his real identity. But he's still trying to figure out whether or not Dylan and Jack are also Jeff, who's the person that allegedly knows Elizabeth. Oh, it's so
I
confusing.
feel like it's like an episode of Scooby Doo where it's like they take off the mask and then it's this guy, and then they take off the mask and no, it was this guy, and then they take off the mask again and it's like no, but it was this guy pretending to be this guy who was actually this
That
guy.
reminds me of
Yeah.
Inglorious Bastards. It's like, oh, I'm a white dude playing a black dude playing another dude.
Yes.
While they're traveling, every time they stop, Day River is pretty much like trying to mentally diagnose him. And one of the questions that kind of stands out that he had asked was, why would a person want to cut a body at that point? And Dylan answers, so they can see how far their dick goes in. We made her choke.
I'm dying. That's disgusting. Wait, and like, what do you even? How do you respond to that? Who says that? Who says that?
A psychopath.
Even if you're thinking that, who says that? Like, oh, someone who would do that. Like, that's so specific. I don't even know what to think of this.
Day River goes, okay, drop your pants then. And he does. And
What?
hold on. He is observed as having, quote, an 8-year-old juvenile penis, unquote.
Ew, wait, why is it so specific?
I
8-year-old.
don't
Like,
know. He's
ew.
probably a pedophile, but
Definitely. That's insane. I can't.
isn't
This
that
is crazy.
hilarious?
Like, I guess I never like thought that things like this happened in that time period.
Yeah, they do.
Like just outlandish, crazy, weird, creepy shit. That's insane. And what, like, where are they at in their journey at this point?
They're like more than halfway back to LA. They're stopped at a hotel, and the gangster squad is listening in.
At least they're, like, more than halfway.
Yeah. So they're like, "Okay, buddy, interesting. All right." Ultimately, they make it back to LA, and by the time they do, it has been 2 years since the murder of Betty. Um, they start bringing Dylan around to the sites that police believed may be involved with the killing, such as like a mobile home or trailer park, because at one point, police thought that the killing might have happened somewhere that could be moved because they were unable to find a murder site.
So they were trying to get, like, a rise out of him or
Yeah, they're
something?
trying
Or
to get
some
a
type of
reaction.
incriminating
Yeah,
reaction?
and
Okay.
they did bring him around to, like, this one trailer park that he said he used to keep his trailer, and they stopped in, they asked some questions, and, then they end up going to the dumping site that Elizabeth was dumped at, and when they're there, like, Dave River's, like, asking, like, looking at him, and he looks a little squeamish and distraught, but he doesn't really indicate any, like, nothing guilty, like, doesn't say anything incriminating or anything.
Yeah, I mean, he's a psychopath, so he could easily just be like, "Yep, this is a day in a regular day. This is fine.
Right,
This is fine."
right. So when they get back to the LA area, they have Dylan. They locked him up in a hotel room, and he's throwing, like, papers out of the window saying that he's been locked up outside locked up in this hotel room and being held against his will by the Los Angeles Police Department. Uh,
Oh my god, they, like, was this for, like, multiple days?
like, they had him this whole time, they didn't let him go anywhere, they didn't let him out of his sight, but they ended up locking him up in a hotel room before they, like, fully arrested him, and
I
I
see.
have that letter as well.
Like the one that he threw out when he was when he was locked in the motel room.
Yeah. He said, "I am being held in a room," and he said where, and in connection with the Black Dahlia murder by Dr. J. P. DeRiver. As far as I can tell, I would like legal counsel.
I mean, well, yeah, everyone's gonna ask for a lawyer at that point. That's crazy. I mean, and the handwriting is interesting.
Yeah.
Um, because it almost looks like he used like a non-dominant hand or something.
Really?
I don't know, like the handwriting looks like
His
weird.
signature doesn't.
Did he put a heart on his eye
No.
on the right hand side?
This one,
Okay.
it looks like a teardrop.
The in the last name of the I don't know, receiving address or the other
Oh, this
side.
one?
Yeah.
It almost
That looks like an eye. That looks like a
it does
heart.
kinda look like a heart. I won't hold you. So, ultimately, press find this, reach out to Deriver, and they're like, "Hey, it's actually Aggie." Aggie's like, "Hey, buddy, your prisoner's throwing notes out the window. Might wanna do something about that."
So they like didn't even know.
No, they didn't know.
Fucking LAPD. What were they doing then?
Right, and at this point, he wasn't even under arrest, they were just holding him in the room. So, when we're at this point and Deriver gets that note, the chief finally lets the original homicide team know that they have this guy and they think he's a good suspect and they're gonna bring him in and they're gonna arrest him. They question Dylan about Jeff, who Deriver thought was the same person as him. Turns out Jeff is real.
Oh, what a twist.
What a twist. They bring him in, they question him. He has an alibi. He's cleared. He also says,
Okay.
"I don't know why Leslie would say those things. I thought we were good friends."
Someone didn't get the memo.
Right. At this point, they have no concrete evidence on Leslie, and they've been holding him. They have to let him go because they arrested him, and they don't have anything to charge him, so I let him go.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Yep, he ends up suing the LAPD for false imprisonment, false arrest, and defamation of character.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's sounds like a creep, but I kind of can't blame him. That's kind of nuts.
Yeah, and he really had That's him. He really had nothing to do with it. And as we get through this story, he ends up having an alibi also. So they really did arrest him for no reason. They brought his ass all the way back across the country for no reason.
So, like, now I'm like, did he even say that to the guy in the car, or did he mishear him or something?
No, that it is so the conversations that like the question I'd asked you, they were recorded. The quality was shit because Day River would like yell when he talked and Dylan would like whisper. So it was really hard to hear what they were saying, but you also had the gangster squad who was across the hallway listening at the time as well. And he remarked on hearing that conversation. So that is a genuine conversation that was said.
Okay. Okay. Fact check
Yep, fact
verified.
check verified. Yep. So Perez start eating up that the LAPD was fucking up this investigation. Not only did they go off of a doctor's word and not a police officer's word, they completely bypassed the homicide department to go with the squad of people that were after the mafia. So, really, no experience in this type of homicide. And DeRiver, he claimed to be a psychologist, had helped on multiple cases for the LAPD. Well, guess who wasn't a psychologist?
No way. He lied?
All his credentials were made up, actually, and he was actually an ENT doctor.
What? What? What the what?
That's a whole separate thing. The book that I read spent way too much time talking about DeRiver, and I got really fucking sick of it. But yeah, his credentials were not what they needed to be able to be consulting on murder fucking cases. So at this point, this this the grand jury is like, okay, we're looking into this case. What the fuck are you guys doing? Okay, you took your original homicide detectives off, and then you after this incident where you fumbled, you took them off fully and gave it over to the gangster squad. What are you doing?
What the actual fuck are you doing?
So the gangster squad, and I don't remember what case that we just did that they didn't look back at the original case files or anything. Oh, Lisk, Long Island serial killer.
Yeah.
They
Yep.
same thing on this one. They did not look at the original case files that the original detectives had. And if they did, they would have saved a lot more time because guess who's kept going after fucking Mark Hansen?
Oh, what a pain in the ass. That must have sucked for that guy.
Yeah, he ended up getting shot by one of his dancers from the Florentine Gardens. And
Oh.
they used that as like an opportunity to search his house. And again, they found absolutely nothing. So nothing, 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 coming up with nothing. And the gangster squad really put them in more of a hole than anything because they look into hotels in the area and they're trying to drum up something. There's been like a $10,000 reward release for information for like leading to the arrest of Betty's killer. And they find this hotel is called the Astor Hotel. When they talk to the owners of the hotel, they find out that a woman that matches Betty's description and Mark's description were staying there, and that a cleaner said that one of the rooms was soaked in blood and it had shit all over the walls as well. Um, when police end up testing the room, they find a small amount. They don't find a lot of blood, not enough to indicate that somebody was like murdered there. And after they circle back with the owners of the hotel, they kind of ask like, "Hey, are you only saying this shit because of the reward?" And they're like, "Yeah, yeah,
Nah. Oh my god. Come on, guys. What are we doing? Like, they're not gonna find out? Come on.
right." Because they were saying that they saw a woman with black hair, and they're like, "Well, Betty's hair was red when she died." And then they're like, "Well, we saw Mark Hansen." They're like, "You saw Mark Hansen?" They're like, "Well, no, not really." Okay.
Oh my god. Mwah,
So
mwah.
after this fumble, they get removed from the case. The gangster squad gets removed from the case. And it goes back to homicide where it fucking should have stayed. And this is like what I'm telling you, when people were getting taken off the force and people were getting fired and like there was new people coming in and all of that. This is around the time that this is happening, and people are found out to be on the take. And at this point where we're at in this story, it's 1950. It's been 3 years since she's been murdered, and we are nowhere closer to where we were in the beginning.
This is like deja vu.
It's so bad. When homicide gets entered back into this case, they start from the beginning again. They start looking all over again. And they actually look into a new suspect. That would be George Hodel. George, who we haven't talked about before, was a strong suspect because he was a surgeon. Um, he was also accused by his daughter in 1949 of sexual molestation. And during his arrest, his daughter can be quoted as framing her father as the killer of the Black Dahlia. Her father's defense about that claim and sexually molesting her was that his daughter was a pathological liar. So he was not convicted of anything, but police did end up wiretapping his home, which the only thing that they had said that would have been somewhat incriminating was, quote, "Suppose I did kill the Black Dahlia. They couldn't prove it now. They can't talk to my secretary anymore because she's dead." Unquote.
No way.
Hmm.
And they couldn't like do I guess like what can you do with that though?
Right. You don't have any evidence. He wasn't wrong. Ultimately, there was not enough evidence to convict him of anything. However, his son, Steve Hodel, a former LAPD detective, believes that he did it. Steve has written a series of books called The Black Dahlia Avenger, where he states that Betty was his father's secret girlfriend. He also claims to have found pictures of her in his father's personal belongings after he died.
Has he like produced those pictures? Does he put them in his book?
I don't know if they're in his book. I didn't read his book. I only read this one because this one took a non decisive stance and gave the facts, whereas Steve Hodel lists that his father was definitely the killer and he definitely thinks he's also the Zodiac.
Oh, he thinks they're one and the same person?
Yep.
Interesting.
Hmm.
It's and yeah, like it's very difficult to take that without a grain of salt because that's such like a predetermined like he's determined that that's who it is. So he's going to see any of the
In a
evidence
different
and
lens.
connect it in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is important to note that no one in Betty's life recalls George Hodel. Nobody knows who he is. Like Ann Toth, when asked, never met him, didn't know about him. And police end up looking at one more person that they think might be it. Um, I don't know if you remember from part one where she was dating Marvin Margulis. Um,
Mhm.
they thought that he might be the killer as well because he was a student. He was a medical student and he had access to cadavers and labs. And they had sacks that would match what Betty was transported in. But again, not enough evidence, nothing to really show what happened there. Um, the only other person that they had mentioned was actually somebody I forgot to bring up in part one. There was a man named Carl Ballsinger that had spent 2 days with Betty. Police find out, and he won't fully tell what happened in those 2 days. But again, he's a suspect, but there's nothing to fully connect him and say definitively that he's the killer. So, this is where we're left off, unfortunately. We
What?
have no real concrete answers of who did this to Betty. We have nothing else. Uh, no more suspects, no more nothing. The LAPD keeps her file in a filing cabinet under lock and key in the LAPD. And hopefully one day we'll have answers. But as of right now, we have none. And her case
Wait,
remains unsolved.
Sam?
Ha ha.
What?
Yeah. They're not all solved, Brianna. What do you want me to do?
So many dead ends. Wait, but wait, there's more. You said that there was recent
Yes, yes, yes.
developments.
So I was telling Brianna about a Fox News article that said, I think we already talked about this on the episode, but that there was a team that is currently investigating it, wanted access to the autopsy report. But I also, when I was in search of that article to show Brianna, I came across another episode dated just a couple weeks ago saying that they are trying to match a new fingerprint found within the case recently. Like,
A new fingerprint. Did they say on what?
let's see.
And oh my god, it must be so much easier to cross match fingerprints now.
Oh, I
Oh my
know.
god, a room full of fucking
Isn't that
files. Could you
crazy?
imagine that being your job?
But from what I just like heard, like what I read and like cuz I was interested, I was like how the fuck do they do that? I really need to know. But they have that filing system down so easy like with all the classifications like everybody look at your hands. Everybody take
I was gonna say you got me looking at my fingers as soon as you started talking about it. I was like a loop, a swirl, a
a
what?
whirl. I I have swirls. So if you look at my
Uh,
fingers, I got
I
swirls.
think I have loops.
Is it like I would have to I'll show you. I'll pull it up. Let's see. Loop. Everybody's doing this research with us. Loop, swoop, swoop.
You loop it, you swoop it, and you pull.
That's literally what I would do. Loop, arch, and whirl. That's what it is.
Arch. That yeah.
Yeah,
It's like loop swoop.
I have whirls and I also have loops. I do not have arches. I'm gonna show Brianna what these look like, and if you guys are interested, I mean, you can look it up. It's not that hard.
I think I got loops and swirls. Oh yeah, I got loops. I got loops and I think that's a whirl.
Yeah. So
Sometimes it's hard to tell the whirl and
the
the
loop.
loop, but I definitely got the loops for sure.
Yeah. So when they're digging through this stuff, they're classifying it by each type, right? So you get fingerprints back and you look and you're like, okay, this should be within whatever. That's how they were doing it, which again, that is crazy to me.
That's
The
insane.
effort and amount of work that goes into that is crazy.
Ugh.
According to this Fox News article, let's see. Most recently independent, I'm quoting, quote, most recently independent forensic examiner Alex Barber, of oh god, co-founder of the Cold Case Consultants of America, said that he found evidence that could link Short's ex-boyfriend Marvin Margulis, which we just talked about, to the murder and to the Zodiac killer, another infamous unsolved case. Interesting.
If they are both the same person, that's nuts. But then okay, if they're both the same person, oh okay, but they have an idea on who the person is.
Right.
Just that they're also both. What makes them think that they're both? Like they started off with Betty and then like became the Zodiac? Like
Yeah, when did I don't plan on doing a Zodiac episode, because we just
I feel like that would be bananas.
yeah, I don't plan on doing it anytime soon. Let's just say that, because you guys know how I feel about serial killers. But Zodiac was active in San Francisco between 1968 and 1969.
I mean, that's kind of a gap.
Yeah, that would be a 20-year gap.
That's a pretty big gap. And like Zodiac went bananas, I
Yeah,
feel like, right?
yeah. Killed
So
at least 5 people in San Francisco in that time
I
frame.
mean, maybe if he was really young, but then like what is up with the gap? Like or are there just murders that we just don't know that fill that gap?
Right, like we talked about in Long Island serial killer,
Yeah.
serial killers tend to not go that long between a kill. And if they did, it would probably be between their first and second kill and not like that many in a row is a spree, essentially. I
Yeah.
don't know. There's that's this is why this case has had the nation's attention for so long, because there's no answers. There's no definitive this is what happened. We
And there's so many suspects
so many
and
people.
they're all dead ends. Like so much hearsay, so much like you could believe this, but this person said this, like it's difficult to really like tie things down.
Yeah. And just the brutality of the murder itself and Betty who she was as a person. And yeah, she may have, got around and met with dudes but she was a young girl. She was living her life. She was going through a hoe phase. Leave the hoe
Yeah, and I
alone.
mean, hey, and like that doesn't mean you deserve to fucking die.
Definitely
Like what
not.
the hell? That doesn't justify that.
Definitely not. And when we were talking about the murder itself, like some of the theories were that she got that Glasgow smile because like she was probably laughing, quote unquote, at her killer. And I could see Betty as a type of being like, who the fuck do you think you're talking to right now? Like I could
Yeah.
totally see that. I feel like Betty wouldn't take no shit. And that be might be why she ended up dead.
Yeah, or she was just like, "Fuck it, I don't care."
Right.
Like, bring it on
Yeah.
towards the end.
Yeah, and she was already really didn't have much left to lose. Ugh,
Oh, poor Betty. R.I.P. Betty.
I know. It's so bad.
It's crazy how this case like has become such a sensation for so long. Like she'll live on forever in these books and these retellings and these theories and podcasts and discussions, and it's just crazy that I know that we've done like older murders too, but this one has just been so captivating to so many people.
Yeah,
Um, it's pretty crazy.
yeah. I hope that one day she does get the answers that she deserves, and or we get the answers that we deserve. But she already knows who killed her, obviously. Um,
Mhm.
I hope that day comes soon. I mean, maybe with these developments, we'll be able to get some information. I would love more than anything to come back on here with a fucking update for you guys. Say we know who did it. I would
Oh
love
my god,
to
we'd probably need a whole episode in itself for it.
to deep dive into who did it. I know it would be like a whole bonus episode that would go great on our Patreon if you guys would go subscribe to the Patreon. That'd be great.
It'd be
That'd be
great.
great.
Okay,
Okay,
thanks.
thanks. All right, buds. Well, next week I already have that case ready to go. I'm so excited for that case. It's a good one. Um, it's definitely interesting. Only a one parter, no multiple parts on that one. It'll be a full length episode, so stay tuned for that. Remember, new episodes every Wednesday. If you guys have a case suggestion, please make sure that you go on the website and fill that out. Our website, man, still needs to add the strain of the day suggestion, but we are more than welcome to. You could use the case suggestion form for that too, if you'd like. Uh,
Hell
in
yeah.
the interim, but I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and please comment. Who do you think did it? Who do you think did it?
Let us know.
Alrighty. Well, buds, stay lifted. Bye.
Bye.